There is no doubt that Akaza is one of the strongest demons in Kimetsu no Yaiba, but what if this powerhouse never became a demon in the first place? Would he have become a Hashira? Would he have dealt Muzan's forces a powerful blow early on? Well, the answers might surprise you. The Akaza we know thus far is the third seat amongst Muzan's 12 Kizuki, as shown in episode 32. If we rewind the clock 100 years, we see him as a human named Hakuji who was a prodigious martial artist, training under his master Kaizo in chapters 153 and 155. At the same time, he was nursing his master's daughter Koyuki, who would eventually become his fiancée. But what if everything didn't head south for Hakuji? As shown in the manga volume 18's extra pages, human Hakuji would be born and raised in the slums. It is not an easy life, but he'd still deeply love his sickly father and do everything he can for him. With no other choice left, this little boy would pickpocket folks in town to pay for his father's medicine, ultimately getting caught a grand total of 3 times. As punishment for his actions, the magistrate would beat him up and mark him with tattoos as a symbol, going as far as to threaten to cut his arms off if he were caught again. They would call him a demon child, a bad foreboding for what happens in the original story. When the wounded Hakuji returns home, this would be one of the main turning points in a reality where the human prevailed, as his sick father would be anxiously waiting for him. He had heard of his son's arrest and got worried sick, drawing him into a weak hug upon his return. He tells Hakuji that he wants him to live a full life and refuses to take any medicine earned by dishonest means. Seeing his criminal tattoos, he proposes to leave Edo together and go somewhere Hakuji can start anew. The boy agrees and the two leave Edo together. Hakuji's sick father would be in no good condition for travel and there would be no ways to procure medicine for him. Enraged at the society that pushed them so far, Hakuji would start picking fights with people that refused to help them, his father too weak to stop him. Similar to the events in volume 18, Hakuji would come ever so close to killing 7 adult men who picked on his father in a village they were passing by. Here, he is approached by a man named Kaizo, who happens to be the owner of the local dojo. This man was cheerful as he was strong, but Hakuji mistakes this behavior as mockery and challenges him to a fight. For the first time, Hakuji gets defeated with ease. Worried that Kaizo might attack his father too, he rushes to the old man's side and defends him with his bruised body. Kaizo slowly approaches them and reaches his hand out to the boy. Kaizo reassures him that he can help, noting that he can get his father's medicine too, leading Hakuji to finally let his guard down and take his hand. Kaizo then takes the two to his home. At the house, Hakuji meets Kaizo's sickly daughter, Koyuki, who was also in bad shape. Since Hakuji had experience tending to his father, this was nothing new to him, and he readily agreed to look after her as well, while Kaizo did handyman jobs. Hakuji and his father now had a makeshift home, where Kaizo and he took turns to earn whatever money they could each day. Hakuji now led a life tending to his sick father and Koyuki on a daily basis, while occasionally taking on odd jobs. Kaizo would not allow him to use any dishonest means and would berate him the first time he tried. Thus, he resigned himself to justful means, no matter how difficult it became. He would sometimes find it super awkward when Koyuki would just burst into tears at random, but as he grew closer to her, he would start motivating and encouraging her unbeknownst to himself by telling her that there will be a next year to watch the local fireworks. A few months pass uneventfully, but his father's age and illness catches up to him and he passes away, albeit peacefully and happily. Hakuji is crestfallen, but thanks to Kaizo and Koyuki's support, he is reassured that his father moved on happily with all weight off his chest. He recalls how his father told him that he could rest easily knowing that his son wasn't alone anymore. Hakuji one day finds Koyuki forcefully left outside by the nearby Kenjutsu dojo's heir, same as volume 18's events. These people were after Kaizo's land and even prevented him from getting students. In a fit of rage, Kaizo and Hakuji fight and defeat the whole dojo, who promise to never get involved with the Soryu dojo again. When the enraged heir swings a sword at Hakuji, he uses his bell splitter to beautifully break the blade, mesmerizing everyone there. 2 years pass and Koyuki's health improves. Hakuji continues to train under Kaizo and the dojo starts to grow. Kaizo soon asks Hakuji to take over the dojo and marry Koyuki, embarrassing him beyond belief. He agrees to protect them at all costs and lovingly accepts Koyuki as his fiancée regardless of her past. Hearing of Hakuji's marriage, the rival dojo's heir challenged him once more. Utterly defeated, they resort to more underhanded means, poisoning the well they drank water from. Luckily, Hakuji and Koyuki are away visiting his father's grave at the time, but they find Kaizo poisoned upon their return. He passes away a few days later, his final request being that the two live a happy life together. Enraged, Hakuji goes to the rival dojo and comes so close to killing all 67 members with his bare hands, but is stopped in time by Koyuki. With his beloved acting as his final pillar of strength, Hakuji retains his humanity and decides to leave with Koyuki to go somewhere they can live in peace and restart the Soryu dojo. The Soryu dojo grows exponentially under Hakuji and Koyuki. The two marry and have 2 sons, who both learn their father's technique. This dojo would later become the go-to location for the Demon Slayer Corps to learn martial arts, handled by Hakuji's bloodline over generations. Rengoku, Giyu, and all the Hashira would train here at some point, mastering hand-to-hand combat for when they have no blade. Hakuji would live up to around 110 years thanks to his vitality, and would have been great friends with Kyojiro Rengoku despite the age gap. The chemistry between these two characters is undeniable, as they are both righteous and tenacious in their own ways. Rengoku would have survived the incident during the Mugen Train movie, with only Enmu being a major threat. The 12 Kizuki would likely be 10 Kizuki, due to Akaza's absence and a stronger line of demon slayers for the past 100 years. Hakuji would have lived a full life, contributing so much to the world before passing away peacefully beside his family. The Infinity Castle arc from chapters 137 to 183 would have been much smoother for the Slayer Corps, because the damage sustained by Tanjiro and Gyo while fighting Akaza would be non-existent. Tanjiro, in particular, would have more strength left to fight Muzan head-on, sustaining less critical injuries along the way. And that's it. It's a shame Hakuji wasn't young and agile by Tanjiro and Rengoku's time, but he would have supported them tremendously, and his legacy would carry on pridefully. Amazing how much can change with minor turning points in any story, isn't it? What do you think? Do you agree with this kind of reality where Akaza never became a demon? Let us know in the comments. Coincidentally, are you curious about what would happen if Tanjiro became a demon? If so, then go check out this video on what if Tanjiro was born with Demon Slayer mark to find out.